Arkansas's State Library Board is about to see big changes after a new law dissolves and replaces its members. Also, a slate of new laws take effect in Arkansas, including a ban on cell phone use by students during the school day. And Jonesboro city leaders are considering contracts for city projects and a new role for park rangers. Those headlines and more coming up on KASU News for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. I'm Brandon Tabor. Arkansas's State Library Board is soon to undergo changes after legislators this year approved a law dissolving the current board and appointing new replacements. Member station Little Rock Public Radio's Josie Lenora has more.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has less than 30 days to hire a whole new library board. Her recent appointees have been more conservative than their predecessors. Most notably, former State Senator Jason Rapert served on the library board. Each meeting, he attempted to pass a resolution putting some books in a restricted section, generally books with LGBTQ characters. Other board members pushed back, saying his ideas are probably unconstitutional and go outside the limits of what a state board can do. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Dan Sullivan has been working to regulate libraries for several years. He's particularly frustrated with the board. He says inappropriate content is available to children in libraries, literacy is unemphasized, and the board should cut ties with the American Library Association, a group he believes is Marxist. Sanders appointee Sherry Bales told Little Rock Public Radio she reapplied for the job. In Little Rock, I'm Josie Lenora.
In Arkansas, new state laws are taking effect today. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette reports that acts without an emergency clause or a specified effective day that were passed during the 95th General Assembly will become law today. Some rules include the Bell-to-Bell No Cell Act, which bans cell phone use by students in all Arkansas public schools during the school day. Another will allow the State Department of Corrections to use nitrogen gas when carrying out executions. Other laws include prohibiting, quote, discrimination or preferential treatment by state and local governments, which effectively ends affirmative action in Arkansas. Arkansas cannot enforce the law requiring a copy of the Ten Commandments in all state-run buildings. Federal Judge Timothy Brooks ruled the state can't enforce Act 573 while a legal challenge against it plays out. The law was passed earlier this year and would require visible Ten Commandments displays in state facilities, including in school and college classrooms. The ruling came down hours before the law was set to take effect. The federal government has approved Arkansas's request to use Medicaid dollars to pay for short-term psychiatric hospital stays. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette reports that the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services granted the state's request for a waiver. The change allows Medicaid to cover short-term stays for adults at psychiatric hospitals with more than 16 beds. State officials say they're developing a timeline for implementing the plan. The Jonesboro City Council meets tonight to discuss contracts for city projects and a new role for park safety. Council members are expected to vote on two resolutions to hire Brackett, Kennerick and Associates to design work on a new 911 and real-time crime center and renovations to Winter Wonderland. Both projects are funded by the city's capital budget. Also up for discussion is an ordinance that would create a formal park ranger program. 4 full-time rangers began work in July, focusing on safety, code enforcement, and community engagement across Jonesboro's parks and events. Public Works Committee meets at 5 this evening, followed by the City Council at 5:30, both in the Municipal Building Council chambers. Next, an Arkansas man is sentenced to life in prison for a deadly mass shooting. We'll have more after the break.
I'm KASU Station Manager Mark Smith. Like many small rural stations across the country, congressional action to eliminate funding for public media sends KASU and all public radio into an uncharted future. But we remain certain about our mission and our commitment to you and to our community. You can help through contributing at kasu.org/give. As we navigate the path ahead, your continued partnership and financial support is crucial. We're grateful for you. Thank you.
An Arkansas man has been sentenced to life in prison for perpetuating a mass shooting at a South Arkansas grocery store. Travis Eugene Posey was sentenced to 4 life sentences yesterday without the possibility of parole. He was also sentenced to 220 years in prison for 11 counts of attempted capital murder. Posey pled guilty last month to the shooting at the Mad Butcher grocery store in Fordyce in June 2024. 4 people died and 11 were injured in the attack. Police in Tennessee have charged a 23-year-old woman with assisting a man wanted in the killings of 4 people. The infant child of 2 of the victims was found alive miles away from the crime scene in Lake County. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says Daria Sanders was arrested in Jackson yesterday and charged with being an accessory after the killings. Authorities say she allegedly helped 28-year-old Austin Robert Drummond after the July 29th killings. Drummond remains on the run. 2 other men have also been arrested for allegedly helping Drummond. Tennessee is gearing up for an execution that experts say would likely mark the first time a man has been put to death with a working defibrillator in his chest. Yesterday, Governor Bill Lee declined to grant a reprieve. That cleared the way for Byron Black's execution today, amid uncertainty about whether the device will shock his heart when the lethal drug takes effect. Black's attorneys argue that the device should be turned off to prevent unnecessary pain. Black was convicted of the 1998 killings of his girlfriend and her 2 daughters. This execution is Tennessee's second since May. The Senate panel has advanced a proposal from Missouri Senator Josh Hawley to ban stock trading by Congress, the president, and vice president. The Associated Press reports the bill received bipartisan support, but former President Donald Trump called Hawley a second-tier senator after the vote. Hawley told Fox News he and Trump have since talked and cleared up confusion about whether Trump would have to sell his private assets, including Mar-a-Lago. As Missouri students gear up for a new school year, mental health experts say it's more than backpacks and bus schedules that need attention. It's emotional and mental wellness, too. Crystal Blair for the Missouri News Service explains.
Statistics reveal 1 in 5 Missouri youth has a diagnosable mental health disorder, and rates of serious mental health struggles have risen sharply in the past 2 decades. Lauren Burwell with Burrell Behavioral Health says the back-to-school season can bring a range of stressors for kids, and parents need to know what signs to watch for.
With elementary school kiddos, I usually see things that are somatic complaints. So what we talk about is having tummy aches, maybe sleep problems. Maybe they're suddenly refusing to go to school or to talk about school.
Burrell notes as kids grow older, warning signs may shift to irritability, isolation, or risky behavior. She urges parents to take these seriously and call the 988 mental health line for 24/7 local support. She stresses early action is critical. Crystal Blair reporting.
The NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine at A-State welcomed its 10th class Saturday with the annual White Coat ceremony in Jonesboro. 124 new medical students received their white coats at the Fowler Center. Dean Shane Spites says the class will help address health needs in Arkansas and the Delta. Jonesboro's Ashley Lampkin was coated by her father, Dr. Tony Lampkin of St. Bernard's Healthcare. Scholarships were awarded to Gracie Folks of Jonesboro and Gage West of Stuttgart for service in underserved communities. NYIT at A-State opened in 2016 and now draws students from more than 20 states. That's all for KASU News. Music provided by 2B Studio. You can find more stories online at kasu.org. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for KASU News on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. In Jonesboro, I'm Brandon Tabor, KASU News.